All right, so let's see if I can remember how to do this. It's been a fair while. I am out here today commissioning this new building. This is filled with City Multi, obviously, but heat recovery and heat pump units. It's an aged care facility, so unfortunately for the people who end up living here, they've got heat pumps in the rooms and heat recovery for the common areas. Apologies, it's been such a long time between videos. I did intend on making more throughout this whole process, but honestly, it's, you know, finding the time to edit videos has just kind of really been put on the back burner just because, you know, I'm still, you know, about a year into doing this for myself, and on top of the actual work, you've got extra work, you know, admin, all that kind of stuff, and everything else just gets put to the back, honestly. So it has been a process. I've obviously jumped in halfway through here. Well, not halfway through, this is literally my first day on site, but I'm in the process of just updating softwares on this thing. So first thing I'll tend to do when I come to a new site is just locate the condensers, go through, update all the softwares and septic switches if necessary. But yeah, so currently I've done all the heat recovery units, and I'm just coming through. I've done this whole side here. Still got to do the heat pump units amongst there, and I'm doing all of these heat pump units as we speak now. The software update process is actually pretty cruisy, to be honest. Literally on the YNWs, which is the latest model, you can do it by, obviously you've got to have the software, but you can do it via a USB. And then you come in there and you see SW7 is set, SW7-9 is set to on. You basically, you know, isolate power, put your USB in, hit that to on, and then it will pop up with, it'll say Pro, and you hit that SWP2 button right there, and then it'll start like flashing up and down, like lines flashing up and down. And then you probably can't see that, but that says end because we have finished. So what I'll do is kill power there. We'll wait for that to drop out. Turn that off. Remove this. And then I'll let it sit for maybe, who am I kidding? Probably 5 seconds, to be honest with you, before I turn it back on. And then I'll show you what I do next. But first I'll get this one set up, and then we'll come back to this one. A little sticky. And it says Pro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And lines are going up and down. You can't see that, but that's pretty much what's happening. There you go. I'll wait 5 seconds because sometimes if I press it too fast, it will tell me it errors. When you first turn a unit back on, it'll go through like an initial process where it'll flash like the address, the software version, the size, and the MNET address. Once it's done, it'll pop up with a couple of like what they call flag indicators. It just means some solenoids or whatever, or relays or whatever. Anyway. Okay, so next thing I like to do is basically you can use this bank of bits, which is here, to tell you pretty much whatever you want to know. But currently all I really want to know is what's connected to this in terms of MNET address, because I've got the schematic to tell me, you know, well, actually first thing we've noticed is that this is actually set to 75 and it should be 74, but I know that the indoor unit connected to this should be 24 to 30, oh damn, I've forgotten, I did just look, 24 to 32, right? Now the way you do that to check indoors is you go 1 and 10 to on, so 1, 10, again, hopefully you can see this, but it'll say IFCU and start running through the numbers, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Beautiful. So the indoor units are correct. If you want to check the branch box, it's 1, 2, and 10 to on, but this is a heat pump, doesn't have a branch box. So what I'm going to do is just turn those off. I'm going to isolate power to here, wait for this to drop back out, and change this to 74 like it should be. Wait 5 seconds. I really should wait longer, but honestly, I'm still yet to have a failure when I do this that quickly. I'm just impatient sometimes, and I've got a lot to do, you know. As you can probably guess, you get a lot of MNET issues on new commissioning sites. This is supposed to be 57. Done. All right, now I can turn it on. Actually, hold on. turn it on. I love using the dip switch settings before I even use my computer to scan the MNET, because it's just a really quick way. Obviously, if you've got the schematics, you can be like, quickly, what should be connected? If it's not, you create a list. And by doing that, this side's been pretty bad. Everything else has kind of been fine. I'm not sure what happened on this side, but I've worked out that there's like, there's a couple of branch boxes at the wrong address. I'm missing some indoors. Typically what you'll see is either they'll like flip the address or they'll miss a number. You know, like this one here, I think I was supposed to have 26 and 27, but I've got 6 and 17. So, you know, okay, well, they've just fucked up the address. So that's nice and easy to fix. But it's just a really quick way. Before you even connect your computer, you don't have to worry about it. You just know, write a list, go sort it out, and you can move on. Alright, finally done updating the softwares. It does take a fair while when there's this many units. I haven't fully gone over the schematics yet, but I know that there's three EW50s to one A200. Probably, you know, around 120, 150 units, something like that. But what we need to do now is go locate all of the incorrect addresses, do that, then we can do a reset, and then we can start plugging the computer into each central controller and test running the units. I went ahead and made those adjustments to the addresses, and now I'm basically doing a full reset. So there's two ways you can do it. If you don't know where all of your power comes from, you can do a 5.2, like a SW5-2 to on reset. It's basically like a memory reset. So it processes, you kill power, put 5.2 on, reapply power, it goes like its initial process. Once it loads up, kill power, turn 5.2 off, go from there, right? You can do that, and I do that a lot, but only, again, when I don't know where all power comes from, because you obviously got to get access to the units again, which is kind of annoying. So because I was doing multiple changes, it's just easier for me to come through and kill power to the indoors, branch box, and outdoors, and then reapply power to your indoors, branch box, and condenser last, right? Now, as you can see, I've just turned everything off because the diagram, or whatever, the thing that tells me what each circuit breaker does didn't line up, and I couldn't be bothered working it out. So I've literally just gone through and turned everything off on that chassis and everything off on that chassis. So once I let it sit for about 5, I'll go through, turn all my indoors and branch box on first, and then outdoors last, because your MNET voltage is produced from your condenser, so it's just the best way to do it. Now I'm going to go through and individually scan the MNET on each of these controllers, because obviously got to go through and port check, test data, all the fun stuff, and then we'll change the IPs to be in the range that we want, and then we can go down to the A200. Lucky for me, these EW50s are pretty new. They've got the latest, well, as of right now, the latest version, 8.01. So that's nice. That's one little less step I don't have to do. I don't have to update the software on these. That's nice. Just scanning the MNET now. According to the schematics, it should go up to about 41. These schematics are a bit all over the place, honestly. So you kind of like to see it where it's just, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But this one, for whatever reason, there's a couple where it's like 10, 9, 8, 1, 2, 3, 7, 5. It's just all over the place. So it kind of makes it a bit hard. And you know, if they've kind of messed the schematics up, that's typically when you'll get a lot of MNET address issues, because it's, you know, for sometimes it's harder to follow than others. Anyway, should see 41 units. While I'm waiting for the MNET to load up, I'm just going to go ahead and change the IP address of this first EW50. So they all come as standard. LAN 1 is 192.168.1.1. Now, if they're all on the same network with the same IP address, they're going to clash. So what we end up doing is I'll leave the, you know, certain sites have certain requirements. Some might want you to change them. This has none. There's no BMS. There's nothing here, right? So I can keep it as whatever I want it to be. It's just for communication between the controllers. Now, some sites obviously have like ICN come through, and they'll give you maybe like a certain VLAN they want you to be on. But again, like I said, none of that is here. So what I'm going to do is keep the A200 as the standard 192.168.1.1 and change all of my EW50s to be .211, .212, and .213. So it keeps it pretty simple. And as simple as that. I misspoke before. There was actually 47 units. I missed one system. So everything's there. Nothing's flashing. That's good. We can jump in and start putting these things through a test run. Obviously no ports to check on this one because they're all heat pumps. I think this does the rooms. IC, obviously indoor units. OC is outdoor units. If you see OS, it's a sub unit. And if you see BC, it's a branch controller. And BS is a sub branch controller. But as you can see, we've only got OCs, only masters here, and no branch boxes. This is all heat pumps. So I've jumped into 2 units here. Typically, I'd probably try to do more than 2, especially heat pump units, because all I'm really doing is getting test data, not checking any ports. But this side doesn't have full power yet, so apparently I'm limited to like 65 amps or something like that. So, you know, I could potentially do 3, but let's not risk it, eh? Anyway, we are going to start these up individually just to confirm that the, you know, pipes aren't crossed and gas is going to the right indoors as it should. Let's jump in. Just quickly took the opportunity, we'll take the opportunity to quickly explain something. So TH7 is our outdoor thermistor. So ideally, I'm outside. It's a nice day, but it's definitely not 30.2 degrees. I would have preferred to run these in heating, but it wouldn't let me, right? So these come with an ambient lockout at 25 degrees. Now, there is a function code where you can change that to 30 degrees, but as you can see, it's still over 30 degrees, right? So because it's actually this unit right here, and it's directly in the sun. So the ambient temperature, sorry, what I'll do is once I got the fans to run, it's at TH7, starts to drop, all right? So that's a more accurate reading, but this thing's just cruising along because the blade thermistor wouldn't let me put it into heating mode. You know, so what I might do is now flick it over to heating, but it's kind of that awkward time of the year where this kind of stuff takes a bit longer sometimes, because you can see it's just cruising along, not doing much at all. Anyway. In the meantime, though, you can see that gas is obviously getting to these units, which is a good sign. Just scroll down to the next one. No temperature change down there. So we'll fire this one up. This one's probably in the shade somewhere because it's only reading 22.6. So this one will go into heat mode. We'll do it now. So to change the IPs, I've plugged directly into the central, but now I've plugged all the LAN ones back in. I've plugged into the network switch, and what I'll quickly do is just ping each IP, including the A200, which I think it should be this one. And we should then get a response. And if we do, we'll go down to the A200 and do what we need to do down there. Beautiful. As you can see there, we've pinged each address and we're getting a response each time. So that's good. Network switch is working. Back at it today, but I've scanned up the A200 and I think someone's turned off power to all these indoors. Randomly, one still has power, but yeah, if it flashes like that, it's basically indicating that the indoor has no power. So this site has only temp power. I think I may have said that. They're limited to 63 amps, and I'm running 2 condensers, and then there's it's basically, I don't think it's me tripping the power, but I'm obviously contributing to the power tripping. Anyway, I can't really show you, but I uploaded the program to the central controller, and there was a 6600 fault, which is like a duplicate address fault. Now, when I scanned up, I think I caught it on camera too. When I scanned up, address 33 was green, indicating it had no power, but 33 should have had no power anyway. And then I'm getting a 6600 fault. This MAC card here, which is the interface between this regular M series high wall splitty, which is doing a comms room, and wanting it on the central controller, is this, right? And it also gives you the option for a wall controller. This is address 33. However, this, I've scanned up the AE 250 set of indoor units. I shouldn't be seeing this. I'm just taking a stab at the fact that this is the issue, because this is also 33. This should have been on EW50 number 3, or my 4th central controller. But I've just changed this address. Let's go rescan. Well, I'm gonna go reset power, and then we'll rescan. And if this pops up on the A200 set of MNET, then we know that that's our problem. And I'll have to adjust our program. Anyway, that's the model number if anyone is interested. I was also missing the 2 indoors off this Pumi unit here as well. I have to look into that, but one problem at a time. It's really interesting. So there's, you know, I don't do anywhere near as many service calls as I used to, But I probably do more fault finding overall, because the amount of issues that you see on new builds, and it's a new array of faults too. So it's the faults that you don't see when you're rocking up as a service tech, because presumably a commissioning or some kind has been done, and those have been nutted out before. So it's interesting. So I'm hoping to start making some more of these videos where it's still like fault finding, but just a new set of faults, because it's all commissioning based. So anyway, let me know if you're interested in that. We'll keep doing it. Hopefully we're on the money here, because the comms room unit is still in a 6607 fault, but that could be because the EW50 is looking for it, and it's actually on the A200, so it could be a communication fault between the central and the unit itself, or the adapter card. Let's find out. Rescanning the MNET. So hopefully we still see an address at 33, and then we see the new one at 43. Perfect. Sweet. So that comms room's just on the wrong MNET loop. That's fine. There's room on it. We can just change our program, and there's a strong chance that if it's happened to this one, it probably happened to the other two as well. Comms room folder's gone, so that's all sorted. We'll move on to these two when we scan up another controller. So I've done the first the AE200, the first EW50, and now onto the second EW50. So I'm pretty sure we should have 47 indoors off this one. 4 and 5 weren't used. It was one of those ones that it literally went like 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think it was. I'm not sure why they skipped 4 and 5. It was a bit weird. Anyway, whatever. We should have 47. It should go fast after that. 48. Maybe this is if we have 49 as well. I don't know. 48 indoors, you reckon? We'll see what the system diagram looks like. Yeah, no, so this is what I'm talking about. So instead of it going 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, they've gone 27, 26, 25, 29, 28, 48. Like, I know obviously 48's an afterthought, that's fine, I just missed it in that, but then all of the rest of it, like, just do it in sequential order, come on, it's killing me. Sweet, looks like everything's there. Again, it should be, because we did the dip switch settings at the very start of this, so it should be pretty straightforward, but you can start to see now that we've got a couple of branch boxes here, 4 of them. So yeah, we're starting to get some heat recovery units in. So, well, I'll start with the heat pumps first, just to finish those off, and then we can start port checking the other ones. It's kind of frustrating, because like I said, I'm limited to, I'm now down to running 1 unit at a time, which is obviously making it way longer, because usually I'll, at minimum, scan up 3 at a time, start 1 to confirm it's okay, and then start the next one, and then start the next one, and then you can go through and do what you need to do with 3 running at the same time. So running 1 at one time is quite frustrating. But there's not much I can do about it. Power to this site's dropped out 3 times already today, so gotta do what you gotta do. While I was up here testing out the controller, I figured I'd just quickly open up the panel of this one, just to see if the address was set, and there we go. So it's not set, probably why. I'm surprised that actually no, it still generates that voltage, all good, doesn't matter. Forget that little thought that I was having there. It's supposed to be 80. Oh dear. Much better. Now all the faults have gone. So sweet. We should be good to go once we scan up the third central, the fourth central, the third EW50. We should see everything that we're supposed to now, which would be great. Now we still obviously got to. I'm only just firing up my first heat recovery unit now. As you can see, this one here is running. I'm still going to let those temps get up a little bit high before I start port checking, which literally all we do for that is just go through and say, okay, well, address 27 here is port 1. So port 1's up here. Just flip, close the heating, open up the cooling, and see the temperature plummet. And if it does, you know you connect to the right port. If it doesn't, see which one it does, and just go adjust it to that. It's pretty cruisy. But I've still got a bit of work I still need to do here. But one of the other things we do is room check, right? So the group number 25, 26, 27, which I just line it up with the MNET address to keep it really simple. But we designate that. So what if, you know, what they've said, so let's just say, for example, they've labeled address 27, room 27, And then I've come and said, okay, room 27 is group 27, but in fact, address 27 is not in room 27, it's actually in room 48. Well, then my program is going to be wrong. So, right, so you have to go through and basically confirm that the number you're, the group number you're designating to a unit is actually that unit. We'll do that at the very end anyway. It's like one of the last things I do. Anyway, I'll start port checking. All the ports on that system are correct, so that's good. I'll let this run for a little bit longer, get some more test data, and then move on to the next. We are working inside today because it is bucketing with rain. It's another 30 mil day, so yeah, set up inside. So we can see here we've got two 10 kilowatt systems. According to the schematics, they've been twin ported, so it'll be 2 and 3, or ports 2 and 3, and 4 and 5. But you can see here, only 4 is on, so 5 is on. So they haven't set the dip switch SW4-6 to on at the branch box, so we'll have to rectify that. Same thing on this branch box here, so you can see SW4-6 is off. Yeah, I pushed it a bit. I dropped out power of the building. So I've now made my way through testing all of the units, just getting the last set of test data for here. And what I'm going to go do now is plug into each central controller again, rescan, and go through and basically room check each room. So as I was saying before, need to confirm that the group number that I've assigned to be, AC1 is actually AC1 and not AC10. So there's a few ways that I do this. The easiest way, if you've got a really large site, is to use your computer to change the, so I'll go through, you can see here, they're the current set temps on the wall controllers. Now it's not displaying that because it's in a test, but when I do it, they're not in a test, it's just operating. So I'll set it from 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, so on and so forth, right? So I know that when I walk into that room that I've labeled AC1 or, room 1, as number 7, it should be 19 on the wall controller. And if it's not, then we know we've got a problem. The other way I can do it, which I sometimes do if it's a smaller site and it's just a bit quicker, is go to the wall controller and look at what the MNET address is there and make sure that it's assigned to the room that you wanted it to be assigned to. We'll do it both ways in this video, so I'll show you both ways. Okay, let's start with this room. As you can see, it's designated private dining, but it should be MNET address number 4, and the wall controller should be displaying 22 degrees. And according to what I've done, I'll set the set temp to 22. So that's it. Perfect. Cool. So to do the MNET by the wall controller, has to be off. Go here to your service settings, look up what the password is in the service manual. Once you've put that in, go here, go to settings, function setting. I'm just gonna go do that for the rest of the building now. If anything pops up, we'll come back, but outside of that probably will be the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, let me know if you like this style. Like I said, I do plan on hopefully making some more. I do like the commissioning side of things. Yeah, like I said, you are kind of exposed to a whole bunch of new faults, which is kind of cool. So yeah, if it's something you're interested in seeing, let me know in the comments below. But outside of that, see you in the next one.